what on the earth is this thesis thing I keep talking about? Well, to start, you should get this same information in your UNIV courses or other English courses. In those courses, if you get a different definition from your instructor or professor, stick to their definition. A thesis statement is slightly different for each different discipline. For instance, a field like physics or chemistry, your thesis or hypothesis is an if-then statement that tells your audience what you're intending to prove or demonstrate using evidence collected during an experiment. Alternatively, in more quantitative social sciences, your thesis serves in the same role, but your data is based on human observation. In literary or media studies, your thesis statement is the answer to a question that you intend to support with research-based evidence. There are a few things your thesis shouldn't be. Your thesis shouldn't be vague, and your thesis shouldn't tease your conclusion. The reason for this is because the audience of an academic publication aren't interested in a long-winded pontifical narrative with no firm conclusion. They're reading your work to either learn more about your topic or as a source of research for their own work. So the first paragraph of your bibliography is the single most important part of any research paper. Your thesis should explicitly state what you are arguing, how you're going to support that argument, and how that argument contributes to the greater scholarly conversation. According to the MLA Style Guide, an argumentative thesis makes a claim about a topic and justifies this claim with specific evidence. The claim could be an opinion, a policy proposal, or an evaluation, a cause and effect statement, or an interpretation. The goal of the argumentative paper is to convince the audience that the claim is true based on the evidence provided. So how do you decide on a thesis? Well, you should start with a question. While you're watching a film, what type of questions come to mind? Maybe something sticks out as strange or doesn't seem to fit the cinematic rules we've discussed. Maybe a director seems to be making a statement about something outside of the film. Write that down. Your thesis is sort of like an answer to that question. Once you have a question, start doing some research. Read some other scholars' work on the film or overarching topic. Eventually, you will form some sort of answer based on that research. Your thesis then is a statement of that argument in context with the research support you've discovered. At this level, all you need to do is clearly state that argument. The thesis does not need to be a single sentence or anything extraordinary, just a clear statement of your argument. With practice and a bit more specialized understanding of the subject matter, it's possible to use more efficient language to make the thesis less cumbersome. But at the level of this course, my only expectation is that your statement is as specific as possible and clearly stated. Here are a few examples of strong thesis statements. In John Riley's 2017 essay, Hauntology, Ruins, and the Failure of the Future in Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker, Riley's thesis goes as follows. This article proposes that a hauntological approach to the study of Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker to deepen our understanding of the issues that the film raises. I will explain how the film is traditionally understood as an allegory about faith and is not only a cinematic representation of the failure of the promised society future to arrive, but also still pertinent guide to our present moment. So in short, Riley is arguing that the film Stalker is not only about faith. This statement indicates that the film has a previously established and critical reading and suggests that Riley doesn't entirely agree with this reading, but it is also the cinematic representation of a failed Soviet Union and a warning about the present state of political utopianism. The big term in this thesis, hauntology, just means the presence of repeating sociopolitical states. It was first used by Derrida and our Everything is a Text guy to refer to the continual reevaluation of Marxist philosophy in the 20th century, 100 years after Marx's death in 1883, and is oftentimes associated with postmodern deconstruction or Marxist theoretical framework. Riley is simply using the term to tell his readers, hey, this is the framework I'm using. This signals what type of support he will be using and basically simplifies the statement. The film is about learning from our past mistakes. It's just a shortcut. Notice Riley is using multiple sentences and being super specific and isn't teasing his conclusion.